Hey everybody, it's Sunday. I'm Bob, and so hopefully you know what that means. It's time for another edition of Bob's Smokin' Sunday. Well, in the past we have looked at the main dish, the meat. And just like Batman has Robin and Lucy has Ethel, Shrek has Donkey, a good sidekick makes a great show or movie. A great side dish can make a great meal. So today we're going to be looking at smoking sides. So a few weeks ago I asked you guys online what your favorite barbecue side dish was. Well, I got some great responses. Everything from coleslaw, potato salad, baked beans. The one that was outstanding, a lot of discussion about macaroni and cheese. I have to say, as a kid growing up, macaroni and cheese was my favorite, still is one of my favorites. From the blue box that you would get to my grandmother's homemade macaroni and cheese, which I have the recipe, but I cannot reproduce somehow. I don't know what she put in it. So I love macaroni and cheese, and today we're going to be doing some smoked macaroni and cheese. So we're going to make it homemade style. We're going to make a cheese sauce, pour it over some elbow macaroni. We're going to get it on the smoker, let it incorporate some hickory and applewood smoke into it. It's going to be a great side dish. So let's get started. Alright, so we're going to turn our saucepan here. We're going to turn that on to a medium high heat, number 6 on the stove. Alright, so we've got a 1/4 cup of butter we've got in our Dutch oven. We're going to let that melt, and then we're going to add our flour to make our roux. Now earlier I shredded a few packages of cheese, so I've got that in a bag here. Alright, so our water has started to boil for our pot, so we're going to go ahead and put our macaroni in that. We're going to add a 1/4 cup of flour here to start our roux. We're just going to kind of stir that around. It's going to kind of turn brown. We can get these lumps out. We're going to let that cook for a minute or so, about 2 minutes, to try and get that flour in there cooked. So we're going to add 3 cups of milk to our saucepan here. I'm just going to kind of whisk that in. This is going to be the start of the base for our cheese sauce. So we're going to let that cook for a few minutes. Alright, so our sauce is actually starting to thicken up nicely, so we're going to reduce the heat a little bit. And I've got 4 ounces of cream cheese that I've softened, so we're going to put that in. We're going to mix that around. We're going to let that incorporate. The other thing I'm going to add right at this point is going to be some pepper. Don't need a lot of salt because we're going to have a lot of salt from the cheese and the butter, but we're going to add that pepper and let that incorporate in as well. You can see that's coming real nice and real thick there. So our next step is to add the rest of our cheeses. So I have shredded some Sharp Cheddar, some Colby, and some Monterey Jack. Got it all in a bag here. We're going to put that, and we're just going to empty a little bit in at a time and incorporate it in. We'll put most of this cheese in, but we want to leave some for the top. And we'll do one more little handful here. We'll incorporate that in. I'll save the rest of this for topping it. Let's go ahead and melt this cheese in. can see that's starting to turn nice and yellow there. And it's got those pepper flakes in there. And the last cheese we're going to incorporate is going to be some Velveeta. Now before you knock me on the Velveeta, it melts nicely, gives it a good color, and generally I like it, so it's there. As you can see, that cheese has melted and it looks wonderful. Look at that cheese sauce. So we're going to get our noodles put in our pan, and then we're going to pour the cheese sauce over that, and we're going to get that on the smoker. Alright, so we're going to take our pan and we are going to spray it with a little non-stick spray. We're going to take our noodles and we're going to pour those noodles right into this pan. And then we're going to take our cheese sauce and we're going to pour our cheese sauce over the noodles. Just going to stir that all in together, mix that up. And then we're going to take our reserved cheese that we had shredded, and we're just going to sprinkle that on the top. Alright, so we've got our macaroni and cheese, we've got our cheese sauce, we've poured it over our noodles, we've got it in our pan. So we're going to go put it on the smoker, about 225 to 250 for about an hour or so. Then we're going to cover it and let it cook for another half hour or so, and then it'll be done. Alright, so now we're going to get our macaroni and cheese on. Notice how the cheese is nice and melty. It's been on there for about an hour or so. So we're going to let that smoke for a little bit longer, and then we will take it off and enjoy dinner. Let's do a quick recap of how we made this macaroni and cheese. So first we took a 1/4 cup of butter and a 1/4 cup of flour, and we made a roux. We added 3 cups of milk to that, let that warm up for about 5 minutes. Then we added some softened cream cheese, about 4 ounces. Then we added 8 ounces, which is 2 cups, of Sharp Cheddar. We added 2 cups of Monterey Jack. We added 2 cups of Colby cheese. And then we added a cup of Velveeta cheese to that. We made a delicious cheese sauce. We took our noodles, we boiled them until they were al dente, about 9 minutes or so. And then we added the cheese sauce to the noodles in an aluminum pan. We put it out on the smoker. About an hour and a half later, it has come off and it looks delicious. And now for a taste test. That is delicious. So if you like what you see, click the like button. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube and, try out the recipe. It's not that hard. Just takes a little time. So until next time, thanks for watching Bob's Smokin' Sundays.